most common form of despair for those who do suffer despair are temporary versions of it. When something horrible happens in our life, we lose a loved one, or we have some kind of unfixable tragedy in our life, maybe a huge financial loss. It might be a chronic illness that just we don't see our way past in our life. And those feelings of despair can grow and deepen and hold us there because we just can't see how to undo that problem. But at all times, there is a vision to be held beyond that level of despair. And there is a reason why we can get to that vision if we understand it. I have one of my favorite movies, don't judge me, it's Anne of Green Gables. And Anne is a drama queen by nature. She's 12 to 14 years old in the early parts of the story, and she's an orphan. She's lived in and out of orphanages and foster homes, and finally she gets a call to come live with an elderly brother and sister on a beautiful farm in Prince Edward's Island. And when she gets there, so excited to have this new life, she discovers they don't want her. They ordered a boy, and somehow they got a girl. So let's take a look at Anne's level of despair, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Let's watch this video. I love this movie.
Very well then, Anne, with an E. How is it that you happen to be brought and not a boy?
If I were very beautiful and had nut brown hair, would you keep me?
No, we have absolutely no use for a girl. Well, don't stand there gaping. Come along, bring your bag. Now that you're here, I suppose we'll have to put you somewhere tonight. Take off your hat. You must be hungry.
I can't eat. I can never eat when I'm in the depths of despair.
The depths of despair?
Can you eat when you're that way?
I've never been that way.
Can't you even imagine you're in the depths of despair?
No, I cannot. To despair is to turn your back on God.
True words. When you think about it, and I don't want to take despair lightly because I know what it feels like, but I just want to plant that seed in you that there is another option to despair. That when we choose despair as something that we're going to live in long term, we have forgotten the presence and power of spirit, of love, of light, of renewal, of wisdom that can lift us out of this. It might take a bit, but our biggest challenge when we're in despair is to recognize I am not separate from God. I am never separate from God. Say that with me. I am never separate from God. So we may not be able to leap there into hope from despair. And that's why I love what Esther Hicks writes about in her book, Ask and It Is Given. She's got this emotional scale that helps us find a way up the ladder. So let's take a look at this ladder when we're in despair. And instead of trying to jump all the way up to hope and feel instantly better, we can start with a few of these intermediate levels of energy. The first suggestion is to go into anger. What? Yes. Take yourself into anger because it's actually a higher energy than despair is. You can actually feel the energy in you stronger. It's not somewhere we're going to live for the rest of our life. It's just better than despair. And it starts to get you closer to hope. Stay in anger until it doesn't feel good anymore. And then the next choice might be to move into blame. I like that one. Put it on somebody else. It's their fault that this happened to me. How dare they let this happen to me? At least now you're pushing off some of that energy from yourself. Not necessarily directed in the right way, but a higher energy that is starting to help you to start thinking more clearly. And when blame doesn't feel any good any longer, then try moving into just a kind of a softer level of disappointment that you wish that it happened. And you acknowledge that you wish that it had happened or had not happened in a certain way until disappointment isn't getting you anywhere. So then rev up a little bit to pessimism. Pessimism is similar to doubt, I think, in that you wish it could go that way, but you're pretty sure it's not going to go that way. Have you been there? But that's still a higher level of energy until finally pessimism isn't working for you and you might just be able to move into that level of hope. Doubt and hope, very similar. Hope is that energy that at least allows you to have a vision of some other possibility. You don't necessarily know how you're going to get there, but it's bringing you closer to your spiritual energy. And once you get into hope, according to Esther Hicks, now you are available for the divine to be able to get through to you, for you to connect with synchronicities that will continue to raise you higher in energy and closer to the experience that you really want to have. So I'm not asking you to deny your feelings as you go through this process. Just feel them for a while and then see if you can move up another level. And then take some breaks. Get outside, take a walk, get some fresh air, get your endorphins going. Tap into whatever you can touch or feel or think about that raises your energy. Maybe it's calling a friend or getting into a support group where you can put words to your sorrow and actually move that energy out of you. We don't want to talk about it forever, but sometimes holding it in only is not the way to get it out. Remember that you have some important spiritual powers available to you. One of them is will. And will could actually say, I refuse to live this way. I refuse to live in despair. You have that choice, you have that option. And again, you don't need to know how you're going to get out of it, but just making that statement, I refuse to live in despair, is enough to slap your subconscious awake and go, oh, there's an option. And I'm in charge of making the choice. This is an opportunity for us to start renewing the mind just step by step. Maybe once a day, you make yourself choose one calming thought. Every time you eat lunch or dinner, it's time for a calming thought. When you're in despair, that might be all you can manage. But choose one calming thought that maybe says, in this moment, I'm safe. In this moment, I have what I need. And maybe once a day, you give yourself permission to daydream. Just think about one thing that went well in your life, ever, and remember that. Or think of one desire that you have for your life and focus on that. Desire, use that power of imagination. Be patient with the process because your subconscious has some work to do to undo that despairing energy. And don't get caught up in the house, but just keep choosing one thought at a time. And remember, despair comes on initially, usually, because of some kind of tragedy in our life. But that tragedy doesn't last forever. If despair tends to last, it's because we are looking at it through a lens that is filled with error. It's not the cause any longer that is creating despair. It's our belief about the cause of our despair that is holding us there. This is our chance to look again through a new lens. When I was married about 10 years, my husband told me he was gay. And for the next 2 years, I knew what despair was like as we struggled to figure out how to take our next steps forward. I'll fast forward 30, 40 years later to say he's still my good friend. He comes here to Unity. He's our accountant at Unity, so it had a happy ending to it. But there were a couple years there where I thought it would be better off, I would be better off if he had died. To have him alive and not be my husband was a despairing thought. And it was despairing initially, but because I chose to hang on to it, it protracted. And at some point, if you're paying attention, the pain can get so deep that it starts to push you out of it because you just can't take it anymore. And finally, you do say, I refuse to take this anymore. I refuse to choose this anymore. And then you open up a door for the Christ within to start leading you into something higher. So for me, it was a counselor and then a support group. And it was actually the time in my life where I found Unity. And it was when I started to learn that I could renew my mind. I could change my thoughts on purpose. I could take control of what I was thinking. And as I continued to do that, I began to open up to new outcomes. And it was at that point, not right away, but within the next 10 years of my life, I saw that ministry was what I was called to, not a marriage with my husband. And suddenly, I was being lifted higher and higher, and I was continually being given opportunities to grow and expand and be the truth of myself. So you may not know how initially this is going to happen, but if you can just notice, okay, this pain is more than I want, and I'm going to choose other than. I don't know what it is, but I'm just waiting. I'm going to choose something else. Watch Spirit give you opportunities little by little to feel higher and better, and decide that this is not going to stand in my way any longer. And at some point, you will get to the energetic level where you can have a vision of hope for something better. And once you hit hope, you start receiving much more guidance and synchronicities to help you get where you want to be. Wayne Dyer said up here on the screen, it's in the presence of a hopeful vision that despair and suffering no longer hold our attention. We want to get from despair to hope. And hope, when you hit hope, you are now taken out of the basement and you're on the ground floor. And what we want to do ultimately is get to the rooftop view. So that's when this next part of the prayer comes in. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. Hope and doubt, similar energies. Doubt tends to look more at what probably won't happen. How many times have we thought, I've been this way too long, I doubt that I can change. It's been this way too long, I doubt that it can change. Where that's the energy that we're living from in our life. And that doubt is a feeling that says, I'm not enough, or there's not enough. So you've probably heard a doubter say, I'll believe it when I see it, right? We call them a doubting Thomas. There's actually a definition for a doubting Thomas on the screen. A skeptic who refuses to believe without direct personal experience. Well, come on, once you have personal experience, you're not believing, you're knowing. You skipped over belief. So we learned this from the story of the disciples after Jesus was crucified and then resurrected, and the disciples saw him, except for Thomas. They told him all about it, and Thomas said, sorry, I don't believe you. I'm not going to believe that until I see it for myself. And days later, the disciples were together again, and Jesus appeared, and Thomas was there. Now he could see him. Now he could touch him. Now he could talk to him. Then he believed. Here's what Jesus said. Because you have seen me, you have believed. But blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Why do you suppose that is? Why are we blessed when we believe even when we haven't seen? Because it means that we are mastering the power of faith. Faith is that power that aligns us with Spirit. It's that power that allows us to create, which is our very purpose for being, to create in this world. And we use that power of faith by using the divine law that it activates. That divine law that calls to us what we're focused on. We're using it all the time. It's just that when we doubt, we're using that power against ourselves. When we have faith, we're using that power on purpose. We're choosing our thoughts. It's taking us up on the rooftop and letting us see past the circumstances and be able to visualize that future, because everything visible comes from invisible, right? So faith is what takes us into the invisible and sees the presence of God and lets us look through those eyes of Spirit and start applying our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs on purpose. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. It's a practice. It's something that we have to keep working on. It might take a little bit to get us into that strong place. But if you start with sowing seeds like thoughts, sowing your thoughts, then you're going to notice your feelings will start sprouting. And your feelings are a strong attraction factor. And from that sprout of feeling, you're going to start branching off into expectations of what you know is about to happen for you. And from those branches, you start blossoming into action until ultimately you're harvesting your results. Yes, it's a process. But it's a choice to make that, to live in that process. So I've been looking at my body this week, and we can pretty much see it. Take a look at your life right now, and you're going to notice whether you're living in doubt or faith at any given moment. The state of your life right now is the result of living in doubt or faith. So this week, 2 weeks, I've been looking at my body and feeling doubt about getting past this issue. And I realized as I'm working on this message, this is my chance to sow my seeds of faith. And what might a seed thought of faith be? But to recognize that even in the midst of illness is the allness of life. We are never separate from God, remember? So while the body might be slow or heavy, at the same time, the spirit of life is present in us, seeking to express itself. While our mind feels sluggish, at the same time, divine intelligence is trying to speak to ourselves if we just open the door to that. That divine wisdom of God is seeking to guide our choices as we move through and out of an illness. If we will just open our hearts to that, plant those seeds, feel the feeling of faith and gratitude for that presence of life in you. As a matter of fact, it's something that we can strengthen with our words. So let's speak this affirmation together. I'm healthy and strong because I'm one with God's healing, revitalizing presence. When you are in doubt, speak words of faith. Think about your finances. How do you feel? Doubt or faith? Do you believe in God's infinite, unlimited supply, which starts as invisible spiritual energy, but is formed and fashioned by our faith into what we need, our daily bread? Do you believe that there's infinite amounts of that? Do you feel calm and peaceful when you handle money? Do you not really think about it because it's always there for you? Or do you live in a state of worry? Doubt that you'll have enough when the time comes. Doubt that you'll ever get a handle on money because you've been this way your whole life. Where are you energetically? If you're in doubt, purposely plant seeds of faith. Think about what your heart's desire is in supply. And then think about the essence of that. It starts as spiritual energy that's everywhere present. You have a divine imagination that allows you to think it into creation. You have a divine law that's sitting here waiting to be put to use for your good. And you have a loving universe that's giving of itself all the time. Those are the seeds of faith that you want to plant. Let's speak this affirmation together. I am grateful for the omnipresent, all-providing God substance, and my prosperity is assured. I have unbounded faith in the all-present spiritual substance, increasing and multiplying at my word. Thank you. One more. Let's think about our self-worth. Just notice, doubt or faith about your self-worth. Are you confident and self-assured about who you are? Or do you spend more time wondering what people think of you? Worried or doubtful that you'll be able to be appreciated or get what you need from others because you're not enough? Where are you energetically when it comes to your self-worth? This is our chance when we feel doubtful to sow our seeds of faith. To remember, I am not this human ego that, yes, is limited on its best days. I am spirit. I am the Christ expressing. I am infinite love and infinite wisdom. Let's say this affirmation together. I am made from Creator's own light, an eternal expression of God, and therefore inherently good. I can do all things through the Christ who strengthens me. Each one of these affirmations are statements of faith that you choose to make. These will be on our slides on our website, unityinnaperville.org. When you click on podcasts, you'll see these slides. So if you want to copy them down later, that's where you can go to do that. But one simple way to get started is notice where you are in doubt in life and think of a divine quality that will contradict it. Let's throw up these qualities on the screen, can we, Susan? Just put them all up there, and any one of these divine qualities are available to us. So begin by identifying which one of these qualities would really help lift me in my life right now. And then own it. I am strength. I am wisdom. I am enthusiasm. Have you got one? Can you see it? Okay. So once you've figured out that divine quality, I've got some questions for you. I really would like you to come back later and look at these slides to get these questions down, because it's a journaling exercise that will deepen your faith. So up here are some questions. Now that I am one with this quality, how will I think differently or feel differently or behave differently? Now that I'm one with this quality, how does my life change for the better? Now that I'm one with this quality, how do I relate to others differently? What error thought can I stop thinking, or what error action can I stop doing because I'm one with this thought? Now that I'm one with creativity, what will I create? And imagine that. Now that I'm one with this quality, what can I expect in life? These are good questions to ask because it activates your divine imagination and your faith and your feelings, and you can start living it in your mind, in your soul, in your energy, and you begin to radiate it out to the universe who responds in like kind, and you become that person. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. I'm going to ask Susan to put up a list here of statements that you might want to make. Let's take a look, Susan. Because I am one with quality, here's what my life can be like. Thank you. Doesn't that feel good? So again, on our website, unityinnaperville.org, click the podcast, and then you'll have the slides available to grab these for yourself. Or you in this room, pick up your camera while it's up here on the screen, take a picture. How about if we take these into meditation and we'll just experience them one at a time in the silence. Let's begin by planting our feet firmly on the floor and feeling that loving support from the earth beneath us. Give all of our weight to our chair and relax the body. And see this beautiful stream of light rising from the center of the earth up to the bottom of our feet and up through our body, and we feel grounded, unmovable, unshakable, strong in our faith through the power and light of God, of good. As this divine light streams through us, holding us and stabilizing us in spirit. We own these divine qualities. Because I am one with strength, I can stay the course. I am strength. Because I am one with faith, I can see the finish line. I am faith-filled. Because I am one with peace, I can relax and release control. I am peace. Because I am one with order, I see all things working together for good. I am order. Because I am one with love, I accept myself just as I am. I am love. Because I am one with wisdom, I make wise choices. I am wisdom. Because I am one with creativity, I am open to new ideas. I am creativity. Because I am one with life, I am an expression of ever-renewing health. I am life. Because I am one with joy, I make time for fun in my life. I am joy. Because I am one with enthusiasm, I willingly take a step forward. I am enthusiasm. Because I am one with abundance, I know my needs are always met. I am abundance. Where there is despair, I will sow hope. Where there is doubt, I will sow faith. For this is the truth of my being. And now I let it be. Amen.